If any of you have been wondering about my sexuality, because, you know, all of you are stream watchers and are inherently parasocial, this is your day where you get to find out about that. Am I gay? Start quiz. Have you ever had feelings for a same gender close friend? Dude, sometimes you just want to spend some quality close time with your homies. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna answer that one. Have you ever kissed someone or wanted to kiss someone of the same gender? I cannot say I have. This test is basically asking if you are gay or not. Well, we're about to find out. You know, these aren't all of the questions. There are 15 left. Maybe the upcoming ones will be a bit more subtle. I can't remember a time where I did, so I'm gonna say nope, not interested. How do you feel about queer characters in TV shows and movies? I like the positive representation, but they don't stand out to me. Yeah, no, I think that seems appropriate. Positive representation. Hell yeah. When someone asks you who you're crushing on, a name comes to mind immediately, and it's someone of the same gender. Yeah, no, I you know, I see what you mean now. There is definitely a bit of, are you gay or are you not gay in this quiz? I talk about someone of the opposite sex who I'm genuinely crushing on. Sure. Has anyone ever asked you if you were gay? Yeah. Just because sometimes I get a little bit intimate with one of my homies does not mean anything. And I'm tired of this misrepresentation within the community. There ain't nothing wrong with kissing your homies goodnight, okay? When you imagine being in a relationship, what do you picture? I can only see myself as someone of the opposite sex. Probably that one. How would you feel about identifying as gay? I'm not sure how I feel. No, I don't really think that's me. I'll choose that one. Have you ever felt attracted to someone of the same gender? Yeah, but everyone has. Yeah, dude, yeah, of course. You gotta be a little bit gay. Or you gotta be gay if you can't recognize a handsome man when you see one as a straight dude. Ain't nothing wrong with that. How do you feel about dating someone of the opposite gender? I wouldn't do that. Not interested. So I misunderstood the question. What I actually meant to say is that I do, like, I thought it was asking for the opposite thing. I thought it was asking for the same sex question. Yeah, so that's, just consider the answer to be opposite for that one. Anyway, continuing with the quiz. Do you ever fantasize about being with someone of the same gender? No. When you imagine kissing or being intimate with a future partner, how do you feel? I'm too young for that. Good, I guess. If you scroll through your feed or For You page, do you see content from queer creators? Sometimes. Yeah, no, I'll often get like the Finster TikTok or like the Finster YouTube short. Finster is the only queer creator I can name, to be fair. So, yeah, but probably because I've looked at 1 or 2 related posts. That seems about right. Flash forward 5 years. How likely is it that your partner is the same gender as you? Nah. Would you be comfortable using an LGBTQ plus dating app? No. That's just not correct. Are there a lot of LGBTQ plus individuals in your friend group? Yeah, actually. What inspired you to take this quiz? I'm just curious about the result I would get. I want to confirm that I'm heterosexual. What is it about? That's a philosophical question, and I don't feel like I'm well equipped to answer that. I identify with aspects of the queer experience, but I'm not totally sure where I stand. I'm just curious about the result. Wait, I need to confirm that I'm not. Wait. I just want to make sure this doesn't reveal my personal information to or something. Skip to results. You're probably straight. Yes! That's what it's all about, baby. I've been saying, dude. I've been saying. You're probably straight. That's like the best result you can get, right? I'm not going to do 2 gay... Just because you didn't get the result you wanted doesn't mean I'm going to be out here doing like 5 different gay tests, okay? I did 1. That was enough. Okay, I feel like this is a good one to start off with. This quiz will tell you how chronically online you are. I bet we'll all get above 75%. Sure, let's go for that. Do a black cat or golden retriever test? Black cat or golden retriever? What does that mean? Are you more like a golden retriever or black cat? How is this a thing? It's like introvert or extrovert, basically. Oh, I see. Sure. Let's do that. What's your favorite color to wear? I like black. No, I like white. Is there white? Gray. I'll choose gray. I don't have gray, but I think I would like gray. What's your favorite movie genre? Probably... I like sitcoms, dude. Like, unironically, Friends... That was the shit back in the day. I don't care what anyone says. But my favorite right now has to be like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is like a comedy, I would say, out of all of those. What style are your outfits? Is there like homeless man? Is there like homeless man clothing? Casual. After a long day of work, you come home and eat. What's your favorite musical film? I don't really have a musical film. I don't like musicals. If you could have a superpower, which would it be? Shape-shifting, electricity, communication with the dead. What's like the one of like reading people's minds? Telekinesis. You can only listen to one artist for the rest of your life. Who will you choose? Dude, I actually kind of like Billie Eilish, low-key. Taylor Swift, Eminem, The Weeknd. Yeah, I'll go over classy Billie Eilish. I'm a fan. When you're in a bad mood, do you prefer to be alone or with others? Probably alone. With others. No, alone. I don't know. I'll probably have to think about that. But like, I'll select with others for now. You know, you're just chilling with your homies, just like dumping. No, like dumping your feelings, not actually. No, I didn't mean it. What Pixar movie is your favorite? Dude, I actually kind of love WALL-E. Ratatouille though. I'll go for Ratatouille. I love Ratatouille. Are you a morning person or a night owl? Definitely. I want to be a morning person, but I'm a night owl, dude. Okay. Black cat. You're probably introverted and enjoy independence. You may not like to socialize and would prefer the company of yourself. You have a shy yet impulsive nature. Hell yeah. What'd you get, chat? I think there are a very small amount of people who are like really, really extroverted nowadays. But no, yeah, I love being myself. All right, let's do this one. The chronically online quiz. I got orange alligator. Pack of Janice. Do not call me Janice. Some of my teachers in secondary school called me Janice. But yeah, anyway. Have you ever thought about whether you're a rat or frog pretty? No. I don't even know what that means. Oh, and hold on. No, never mind. This was the first question. Do you know J-Lo's bodega order? No. Have you ever thought about whether you're a rat or frog pretty? What the fuck are you talking about? Do you remember the orange peel theory? I have no idea what you're saying. What is that? Did you sit through all 50 parts of this woman's Who the Fuck Did I Marry storytime on TikTok? No. Do you know who this icon is? Yes. Do you remember the backlash this woman received about her privilege and wealth over the very simple tweet? No. If I said 97-year-old diner where they still serve Coke the old-fashioned way, would you understand? Yes. By the way, I did have a skim through this quiz before. That's kind of why I answered this one quickly. The tweet said, my husband and I wake up every morning and bring our coffee out to our garden and sit and talk for hours. Every morning, it never gets old. It's basically just someone saying like, oh, you know, our life is so calm and chill, and then people being jealous about it. Show it to me, please. Send it to me, Rachel. I haven't seen anything from like this question down. I don't know what that means. Do you know what I'm referring to with, dude, on a real note, who knows what any of these are? The amount I'm answering the exact same as you're at, right? You know, like I thought I was going crazy. Like what's J-Lo's bodega? What's an orange peel theory? Do you know what I'm referring to with my favorite dish? I like mugs. No. Do you know the meme that goes with this picture? No. Do you remember this viral meme? Ellie Goulding says she can't believe there are more than dude, that violin going hard right now. Holy. Ellie Goulding says she can't believe there are more than 800 missing people in the UK. Where the fuck are they all? Okay, I haven't seen that, but that's funny. And finally, I don't know who that is. I'm done. 0 to 25%. If you know of a meme, it's only because someone has told you about it. Otherwise, you're pretty much offline. No way, dude. I can guarantee that 95% of everyone who's in chat answered the same way I did. And y'all are hella chronically online. Like, if you're watching a streamer who has an average of like 5 viewers on the regular, like, come on. It's just respectfully. How do you not know the last one? Wait, was I supposed to know the last one? Like, he rings a bell, but like I can't just name him looking at him. The last one's like, oh yes, of course. Yeah, no, of course I know him. I literally watched the FNAF movie. You'll say these 15 words differently if you're British or American. Choose which one you think is right. Okay, this is actually something that I'm interested about, because if you don't know, I am an immigrant. I'm a Polish immigrant living in Scotland. I moved here 17 years ago. I was 3 years old at the time. Over time, I have spent, you know, I've learned a lot in school here. Everything is obviously British because in Scotland you learn things the British way. But I spent a lot of time on the internet, and on the internet essentially every like creator that I've watched has been American, and they've said things American ways, like yo dude, I'm gonna take the elevator, whereas in Scotland we would say lift, you know. Oh, I'm gonna take the lift. So there's differences, and I feel like this one might be interesting. Aluminium. Yeah, so I say aluminium. Herbs. I would say herbs. Oregano or oregano. Oregano? Yeah, oregano. I would say oregano. Yogurt. Okay, so I think UK is like yogurt. I would say yogurt though. By the way, I haven't looked at these percentages. So 60% of people say aluminium. That's just the correct way to say it. It's how it's spelled. Why would you not say it the same way? Herbs. 72% say herbs. Yeah, it just makes more sense because it's spelled that way, you know? Oregano. I would say oregano, yeah. It's interesting how most people are going for the UK spellings, even though, like, obviously there are more people living in the US and US people who would use Buzzfeed. So it's interesting how a lot of these people are putting down the UK spellings. So I would say yogurt. I would say the US way. Caramel. Okay, so US people would say caramel. It's a caramel. Yeah, 86%. That's actually a good point. I don't actually know any US people who would say caramel. I don't know. Basil. Basil. I would say basil. Vase. Yeah, I would say vase. Schedule. Oh, schedule and schedule. Yeah, of course. Like, even UK people don't say schedule. Vitamin. See, with this one, it's weird because I switch. You know, sometimes it's vitamin, sometimes it's vitamin. Just, it depends on what you're feeling that day. But right now, it's a vitamin kind of day. 39% only. Wow. Route. I would say route. But with this one, I also switch. Sometimes I would say route, sometimes I would say route. Tune. I would say tune. Leisure. Yeah, I would say the US way. Privacy. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say privacy. Definitely privacy. Vitamin on top. Yeah. See, I would say vitamin, but vitamin is like a switch. Zebra. That's weird because I said zebra first and then I corrected myself. I feel like inherently that means UK spelling. Zebra. I would say zebra. Advertisement. Yeah, no, Wait, advertisement. No, advertisement. But like, I feel like these two should be the other way around, no? Oh, that's it. Okay, so wait, I feel like that was a pretty even split. I feel like it was essentially half and half. Yeah, so I had 7 for UK and 8 for US, which is interesting. But no, that's cool. Yeah, interesting how they didn't have like trash or garbage there. I guess it's still only to do with pronunciation, so I guess they wouldn't have that. Anyway, yeah, that's those were like the quizzes and the movie reviews and stuff.